I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll start with some administrivia. If you would please silence any of your devices. If there is an emergency and an alarm activation, there is an exit at the rear of the room where you came in. There's also an emergency exit which will be available when the alarm rings to my right to your left. The elevator will not work during an emergency, so if you require assistance in evacuating, please wait for first responders. The Planning Board continues to voluntarily allow remote participation. If any member of the Planning Board participates remotely, votes shall be by roll call. If you are in the audience and attending this meeting remotely, using a computer or smart device, visit www.zoom.us with your browser. Enter meeting ID 754-663-912. Or by phone only for audio, call 646-558-8656. Again, same meeting ID, 754-663-912. If you have any technical difficulties with connecting, please call 603-845-5585. If you're on the phone and you want to be recognized to speak, hit *9 to raise your hand. And once recognized, please hit *6 to unmute yourself. At this point, I will introduce the members and staff who are present tonight. To my far right, alternate Mr. Appleton, alternate Mr. Mousy, Planning Director Ms. Robidoux.
Good evening.
Planning Clerk Ms. Wilson, Town Council Liaison Mr. Chase.
Good evening.
Member Mr. Healy.
Good evening.
Member Mr. Minavini.
Good evening.
Vice Chair Mr. O'Connor.
Good evening.
To my far left is Mr. Reventure from DerryCAM, who is facilitating our coverage tonight. Thank you. Mr. Fazioli, who is representing the engineer.
Unbelievable.
And I'm hope Dave Nelson. Oh yeah, Dave Nelson on the chair. There is a funny joke behind that. You can ask me after the meeting. So we have under administrative business, we have no escrow tonight. We have the approval of minutes of January 21st. Has everyone had a chance to review those? And are there any errors or omissions?
Mr. Chair, I see no one coming forward on this, so I move to accept the minutes as written for July 21st.
January 21st.
January 21st.
Second.
So a move by O'Connor, seconded by Malamy to accept the minutes of January 21st as written. Mr. Chase?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mr. Minavini?
Abstain.
Mr. O'Connor?
I'll abstain.
Mr. Fishman?
Abstain, not present.
Mr. Chiricello?
I'll abstain.
Mr. Pelletier?
Abstain, not present.
Mr. Malaby?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. So does that actually pass?
I think I think an abstention doesn't count as a no.
Well,
An abstention goes with the prevailing vote, so.
yeah, what I was told by legal training, planning boards are really not supposed to abstain unless they have a conflict of interest, but we'll declare the minutes accepted.
Yeah.
There is no correspondence this evening. Yeah. If anyone wants to write in like Valentine cards to Mr. Malaby so that he can read them on a correspondence, I think that would be fantastic. Thank you. Other business, architectural design review for a sign in the traditional business overlay district, parcel ID 30055, 14B East Broadway.
Okay, this is for Karina's Cakes. As the board is aware, the zoning ordinance requires that all new signs, which does include awnings, in the traditional business overlay district must be reviewed by the planning board prior to the issuance of a sign permit. The architectural design of the sign must complement, or the awning in this case, must complement the architectural design of the buildings and the surroundings. Karina's Cakes has installed a new awning at 14B East Broadway. The applicant submitted a sign permit after the fact and is before the board for review of the installed awning. And you have pictures of the awning as it exists today. Paul from ProStar Signs is in the audience to answer any questions the board might have with regard to the awning.
Any comments or questions from members of the board? Mr. Healy?
Yeah, the only question I have, I'm in favor of the sign, is did town staff notice it, or did Karina's Cakes just submit it after the fact? Do you know the answer to that?
I'm trying to remember how that came to our attention. I think someone noticed it.
Someone noticed it?
And so we immediately reached out to Karina, and Paul came in within hours to handle the permit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good sign overall. It looks pretty nice, so it's my only question.
Any other comments?
I'll just make a quick comment. I think it looks great. It really shows up really nice. It's high up, so it's not going to impede any pedestrian traffic on the sidewalk. So I think it looks awesome.
Yeah, as someone who has a small collection of historical postcards of downtown Derry when it was in its heyday, awnings were a big thing back then, and I think it kind of adds to the historic streetscape of the downtown, so I'm very pleased.
And I think you can expect to see more of them soon.
Someone would like to make a motion on this?
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
I have a question. I just want to make sure it's not an issue that the address listed at the top of the
It's
form
not
is-
an issue, no.
Okay.
No.
That's the only question.
Yep.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I move to pursuant to the Town of Derry zoning ordinance, Article 12, signs, Section 165-101.5, signs in the TBOD, to approve the awning sign design presented for Karina's Cakes, Parcel 30055, 14B, East Broadway, as presented. The board finds the awning is compatible with the surrounding buildings, meets the regulations contained in the ordinance, and complements the surrounding architect.
Second.
So moved.
Moved by O'Connor, seconded by Malaby to accept as presented. Mr. Chase?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mr. Minervini?
Yes.
Mr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Mr. Fishman?
Yes.
Mr. Churchello?
Yes.
Mr. Pelletier?
Yes.
Mr. Malaby?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Next item is Planning Director and Chair updates.
Okay, so our next meeting, the board will receive a presentation of the 6-year capital improvement program from the town administrator and the chief financial officer. That is something that's presented every year to the planning board. I did want to let you know that, as you're all aware, there's a lot of legislation going through the system right now. I do have a spreadsheet set up that I actually, our former intern forwarded from Nashua to me. It was really well put together from the Nashua Regional Planning Commission, so I adapted that to include bills that we would probably want to track in Derry. So Caroline and I have been keeping up with that every week as the bills are changing. Today I went through and highlighted items that we probably really want to keep track of. So I'll be moving that as we're starting to head more into more public hearings. We'll move that into the OneDrive and make that available to you so that you have that available and can take a peek at that. I did want to remind the board that one of the RSA's 673-3A talks about board member training. It says you may participate in training to get you acclimated to the planning board and procedures and laws and all that. Our policies and procedures say you shall. So if you do take advantage of any of the trainings, if you could let Caroline or I know, so that you need to do just at least one per year. We've talked a little bit about maybe having a training during one of our meetings where it's a really light agenda. But if we did that, is there anything in particular that you feel would benefit you as a member, especially some of the newer members, so that we could maybe get that on track? I did reach out to the executive director at Southern New Hampshire Planning, Sylvia. She does this amazing plan, how to read a plan class. We're still trying to pull that together. So I'm just wondering if there's anything that you think would benefit you. So either you can mention it now or just send me an email and we can look at that. And then that's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Question on that. You says per year. Is that calendar year or is that appointment year?
we've been using calendar year because it's just easier to do calendar year.
Okay.
Or, I mean, we could do, or is it April?
I don't think it matters.
I
Just
remember, yeah.
need to know.
Yeah, I mean, we start our year as a board in April because
Yeah.
that's generally our first meeting. So, yeah.
Okay. As long as you get that figured out. So I did my annual update presentation to the town council last night, reviewed what we have done, major highlights in 2025, and gave them some visibility into some projects that we might do in 2026. And I also highlighted that it would be really good for people in the town administration and the elected council to give some testimony in Concord on some of the bills that will impact our zoning and other regulations. Because I've discovered that if you're an elected official, you get a little more credibility than just lobbyists or just random people. So hopefully there will be some follow-up on that. And with that, I think I'm done, and we'll move into our public hearing for Durable Trailers LLC, PID 8001-003 7A Street.
Okay. So the applicant has purchased the former New England Sports Center, which operated as an indoor sports arena. The new owner manufactures durable trailers, which are aluminum, utility, and are cargo trailers. The average trailer is about 19 to 20 feet in length. The business originally started in Derry on Corporate Park Drive and is currently operating in Merrimack. Glad to have you back. The property is located in the Industrial 2 District. This is an existing lot of record. The use is changing on the lot, but no dimensional requirements have been affected. The development team performed a new survey of the property. Wetlands were observed, but will not be disturbed as part of this project. The building's interior will be upfit to accommodate manufacturing, production, and office areas for staff. And the applicant plans to add overhead doors, 2 on the north side for incoming materials and 3 on the south for finished goods leaving the manufactured area. Traffic circulation is noted on the site plan, and a fire lane will be clearly delineated. There are approximately 32 employees to date, with an expected increase over the next few years. There are occasional walk-in customers who will pick up trailers on site, but at this time, there's no retail component planned. And I believe that those customers who would come to pick up would be very infrequent. Deliveries are handled by 2 to 4 semi-trailers per week, with Amazon and FedEx also providing deliveries. Product leaves the site in the semi-trailers 2 to 3 times per day. Hours of operation are 7 to 3:30, Monday through Saturday. There are 200 striped parking spaces on site, including 56 spaces located in the gravel areas around the left and rear of the building. The original site plan approval was granted in 1999, with an addition approved in 2002. Review of the 2002 minutes show that at that time there had been a request for a waiver to allow those 56 gravel parking spaces. Normally we have people park on pavement. The Conservation Commission had requested that at the time that gravel be utilized. The approved plan shows those spaces. The applicant does not need all the paved parking on site, but some of those areas will be encumbered for deliveries. The applicant would like to be able to utilize flexibility on the site and park completed trailers in the gravel areas as needed. I will note that those trailers are non-motorized. The property has stormwater management systems on its east and west sides. These systems require restoration due to past maintenance deficiencies. There was an issue with drainage resulting from a deficient 24-inch culvert. The applicant is, we'll discuss this a little bit more, but the applicant is responsible for restoration and some maintenance of this culvert to prevent impacts to the town's infrastructure. Additionally, maintenance of the drainage area located in the southwest corner of the site remains with the applicant. The engineering department is requesting additional details to be added to the plan, and those are outlined in the January 15th email from Sam Fazioli. There is one waiver request, which has to do with parking calculations. And the recommendation would be to review the proposed minor site plan, review regional impact, and craft any suggested additional motions relating to maintenance of the drainage structures and systems as necessary. Tim Laporte is here to present from the Dubé Group. I believe the owner is in the audience as well, and Ralph Valentine. Tim will speak to this, but there had been a request to maybe rework some of the language regarding the stormwater management system maintenance responsibilities, and all of the board members do have a copy of that correspondence that was provided this evening.
Okay. So on the matter of jurisdiction, what is the board's pleasure?
Mr. Chair, move to accept jurisdiction of the minor site plan before the board for Durable Trailers LLC, owner, the Sports Reel LLC, PID 08001-003, 7A Street.
Second.
Moved by O'Connor, seconded by Malaby to accept jurisdiction. Mr. Chase?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mr. Minervini?
Yes.
Mr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Mr. Fisherman?
Yes.
Mr. Cherichello?
Yes.
Mr. Pelletier?
Yes.
Mr. Malaby?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. On the matter of regional impact,
Mr. Chair, pursuant to RSA 36:56, the board finds the proposal as presented at this time meets the definition of a development of regional impact.
Second.
moved by O'Connor, seconded by Malaby. We'll start, as we always do, with Mr. Chase.
No, this is a change of use plan with no to minimal outside site work to be done, and therefore it does not meet the definition of a regional impact.
Mr. Healy.
No, for the same reasons.
Mr. Minervini.
No, for the same reasons.
Mr. O'Connor.
Again, no, for the same reasons.
Mr. Fishman.
No.
Mr. Cherichello.
No.
Mr. Pelletier.
No.
Mr. Malaby.
No, for the same reasons as Mr. Chase.
And I, the chair, will vote no for the same reasons as Mr. Chase has articulated.
Mr. Chair, I would like to make a motion to open public hearing.
Second.
Motion by O'Connor, seconded by Malaby to open the public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Public hearing is open. If you will give us an executive overview, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tim Laporte. I'm with the Dubé Group for the applicant. So a little bit of an overview here. Liz touched on it pretty well, but most of what's happening here is a change of use. There's minimal work being done on the site. There's some drainage restoration and as well as some restriping of some parking areas because the new applicant doesn't need as many parking spaces because most of what's going on here is more meant for material storage. You know, they have a few employees and a couple people coming and going periodically throughout the week, but they don't have a heavy parking need. So a lot of their use for pavement areas is actually for storage of the trailers before and after they're manufactured. So that's kind of what the pavement's being utilized for more on this site. So as far as site work goes, there's some vegetation that needs to be cleared and some drainage areas and for ensuring site distance and snow storage, things like that. Drainage concerns, there was a blocked pipe on the site, but that has since been resolved to my knowledge. And there's an additional catch basin in that same wetland area, if it's near wetland flag 9 as you're looking at the plan. And that kind of serves as a secondary way for the water to flow in the same direction, as well as catching some of the parking lot off the site because the parking lot sheet flows into a swale and then the swale will flow into that catch basin. The wetland will have an overflow and we're proposing a V-notch weir and we're coordinating that with the engineering department as well to make sure that the drainage, in the event that that pipe gets blocked in the future or if it's not draining properly, the water will have a way to overflow into that other structure and make its way into the same system instead of causing problems otherwise. The 24-inch pipe that most of the wetland flows through is actually, there's an existing drainage easement for the town that the water flows through. So I believe, to my knowledge, the town's responsible for maintaining it, although some of the language is a little unclear, so we'll work with staff on clearing that up as well. We have some minor detailing of some other drainage concerns, or not concerns, but just trash racks and things like that to make sure that things don't clog up in the future. But that's pretty much the overview of the project.
So if you could explicitly address your email of this afternoon with regard to suggested language and clarify what the town is asking the applicant to do and what the town has accepted as ongoing maintenance responsibility?
Yeah, so in the, originally there was some language about the new landowner being responsible for restoring and maintaining systems and moving forward. And we had looked at that a little bit and we noticed that drainage easement going through. And yes, the owner would be responsible for all the maintenance that is on the site that is not under the easement, including the drainage area, as you're looking at the plan on the left or the west, as well as that other catch basin near wetland flag 9 on the east of the property. But the easement that's on the property is for the town, and it's the town's drainage easement because it also, that wetland is between multiple parcels as well, and it barely hits our property at that inlet there. So the easement's with the town drainage, so the town would be the responsible party, although we are going to clean that language up with the engineering department and the town staff. So the landowner wouldn't be responsible for all of the stormwater. It would just be the stormwater that does not have an existing easement.
So could we bring up sheet 405? So my understanding is the easement is that dotted line that kind of goes diagonally across the middle of the screen?
Yeah, correct.
And then all the rest of this is swales and other issues to be dealt with during the implementation of the site plan?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
And those other items that would need to be maintained, the the maintenance of those would be undertaken by the new property owner.
Okay, so we really should finalize the language because these things typically appear as conditions of approval, notes on the plan. This is not the sort of thing you negotiate after the approval because it becomes a condition of approval. So let me ask Mr. Fazioli for his recommendations on this.
I have no issues with what they've proposed in their latest email. I think that, the biggest issue is we need them to accept responsibility of that swale area and basically anything contributing to the pipe, which is within our easement, which I think they have captured in that email. So I'm satisfied with what is written in their email.
All right, so for whoever's the motion maker, the paragraph that's highlighted with yellow bars would be what we would add as a condition of approval. I had one question regarding the aerial color photograph. It's not at all clear to me what section of the parking is gravel and what is paved, because it all is kind of gray.
Yeah, the gravel parking is around kind of the outside by the fire lane. It is a little hard to see in the aerial because the trees have, like tree canopy overgrows it a little bit. Yeah, around the fire lane is mostly where the edge of gravel spaces are, kind of. If you look at the existing conditions plan or the site plan, sheets 2 or 3, you can see the edge of gravel line that goes from the west all the way around up to the north of the site, around the building.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience, in the room or online, who has questions or comments about this application? Anyone in the audience? No? Okay, back to the board. Any comments or questions from board members? Mr. O'Connor.
I have 2 questions. One question I have is on the parking. The calculations on how many spaces there, and was the measurement based on the parking space from a vehicle or a car or versus a truck? Because you'll have a different length on that. So I want to make sure the calculations is correct.
What do you mean by a different length?
Well, the pictures on here show all the parking spots. and it doesn't show the measurements against the building and where it stops. So, to me, if this goes back to the sports zone, is that these are existing parking spots for car vehicles. And is that going to be for car vehicles, or is this going to be for all the trucks coming in?
I mean, it wouldn't be for, if it's
trailers.
used at all for trucks, it would be more for circulation and not for parking per se. But some of it might be used for storage. The intent is to keep them as parking spaces. I mean, the landowner will obviously have to kind of evaluate his needs based on the needs of the business as it grows and changes, but the intent is for those to be regular parking spaces.
Okay, thank you. And my next question is to you, Mr. Chair. On this here, do we have to cite that this should be definitely in the deed when they file it for the...
No, this is a note on the plan and a condition of approval.
So you want to note on the plan?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a condition of approval, and typically those things are all put as notes on the plan, so there's two places it's in the notice of decision, and it's on the plan.
Because I thought typically easements get filed.
Well, the easement is existing.
Yeah, an easement.
It's already easement in favor of the town of Derry.
All right, so then it's probably already, easement probably already exists someplace.
I would
Okay.
hope so, yes.
Yes.
Mr. Chiricello?
Yeah, I have two quick questions. One, and I apologize if I didn't see it, you did mention snow. Where are they going to store that snow?
Yeah, we have a snow storage area I guess on the north side of the property, as well as, around the outside edge is kind of the intent of where the snow storage would be.
Is it delineated in the plan at all, or no? I mean, I didn't see it because I'm sorry to say that I'm getting older and I can't see how the small, you have 3 places for it? Oh, page 3?
Yes. Yeah, page 3 has, on the north of the property, we have a snow storage
I see it.
area up there. And then, around the outside of that fire lane as well, it could
Yeah.
accommodate some snow storage as well.
And then my last question, or next question, I should say, is I'm just a little bit concerned about the way you get out exiting with trailers. If you're coming out, and you're driving through, anyone that goes by there knows that you've got to navigate Rockingham Road. Mm-hmm. And so I'm almost thinking it would be easier to go out the other way and then out to where exit 4A would be a lot easier eventually. But I do have a concern of going the other way, because if you're with the trailer and you're halfway through, you're going to block up traffic. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just not sure how far our authority extends with respect to once you exit the site where you go with whatever vehicle you're driving.
Well, I would consider that like a traffic pattern issue.
We do meet the
Can I follow
required
on
site
too?
distance. On this road, it's 200-foot site distance, and that, you can see we have a line shown that extends, there's the little car, and then there's 200 foot to
Yeah.
either side.
I'm not talking about A Street, I'm talking about getting out of the
leaving
the industrial park.
Leaving A Street onto 28.
Right.
I mean,
It's going to be tricky. That's why
Sure.
I'm thinking you go the other, you know what I'm saying? If you go the other way, I don't even remember the name of the road, but.
I think it would go down past B Street,
And then
right?
where the exit 4A is.
Yeah.
Because that'll be a light there,
Yeah,
It'll be much easier to navigate. I mean, that's the only thing that popped up.
That's a very good suggestion. I don't think we want to make that a condition of approval, because I think it extends way beyond the rational nexus of the parcel.
Yeah.
And after all, A Street is A Street, but this is an industrial park, so.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't think we can lawfully.
so
make
let it be
that.
written.
Yeah, well, you can collect the I told you so, but I don't think we can regulate that. Do you have any thoughts on that, Ms. Robideau?
I know that as traffic gets heavier on Manchester Road,
Yeah.
it might be more difficult to make a left turn out of there with a tractor trailer. So they may find traffic patterns that it's right turn only, like coming out of there just for ease of driving. And once exit 4A opens, it may be easier to go, out that back way to Franklin. But I think as their deliveries come and go, like they will be able to navigate it. Their traffic load is not to such an extent that it's going to be a burden on the existing roadway. I think it's going to be more ease of how they get in and out of the site. But it's yeah.
You have-
Yeah, no, I can see the
Hold on,
left
let Frank
conflict.
finish. I think you have
Yeah.
one more?
No.
That's it, all right. Mr. O'Connor?
Okay, thank you. This is for you, Liz. You were talking about Franklin Street and everything, but you're aware there's going to be streetlights there.
Yep.
According to the 4A document.
At Franklin, there will be, yes.
Yeah, I mean, as as exit 4A gets built and everything, I'm sure the landowner will evaluate, and the truck drivers will kind of realize pretty quickly, like, oh, it's going to be a lot easier for me to turn here, and they'll kind of evaluate that as they go. Yep.
Okay. Any other, Mr. Chase?
So are they going to be utilizing the entire building, or will it be subdivided and other businesses in there?
They're utilizing the entire building.
They are utilizing the entire
Yep.
building, okay. And one last question, just what are they going to have any type of hazardous gases, industrial gases in there for their manufacturing processes?
Yeah, I don't believe there's anything hazardous.
No acetylene or anything like that?
I don't believe. No.
No, okay.
Okay. Mr. Mousy?
Yeah, I just have maybe an observation, possible concern. Looking at the yellow box that you had on your cover sheet, you had mentioned that you're going to be taking down some trees or taking down some of the shrubbery around here.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't know where specifically you're looking, but yeah.
Well, I'm just looking at your yellow box. I don't know how much of those trees you'd actually be taking down.
The yellow box is the property line.
Okay, so I guess what I'm just an observation, potential concern is if we do take down a lot of these trees and you're doing business from 7 to 3, how loud is this going to be? Is this going to be pretty loud for your neighbors that are, Tupelo Music Hall and whoever else goes to the right or the left of you?
I mean, this is an industrial park, but as far as I know, all the things that would potentially create some noise would be inside the building,
Okay.
as far as I know.
Yep. Your process doesn't require any external exhausts on the roof or anything like that? Okay, yeah, so then it would be negligible.
Okay, I'm just,
Yeah.
again, I'm not,
Yeah,
just
thank you.
potential observation.
Okay, anyone else on the board have some thoughts? Let me go back to the audience one more time. Did any of that raise any questions in anyone's mind?
Seeing none, rise online.
Okay, hearing none.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I move to close the public hearing.
Second. Moved by O'Connor, seconded by Mallaby to close the public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Public hearing is closed.
Mr. Chair, next item, we move to grant a waiver from LDCR Section 170-63.C, parent 4, close parent, to allow 112 parking spaces where the regulations require 184 spaces. After review of the waiver request, the board finds that strict conformity to the regulations would pose an unnecessary hardship to the applicant, and the waiver would not be contrary to the spirit and intent of the regulations.
Second.
Moved by O'Connor, seconded by Mallaby. Let me just ask for clarification, Ms. Robidoux. 184 spaces is based on the calculation for what use?
It's for the manufacturing use.
Really?
So, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Any discussion on this?
Point of question, did I hear you've got 30 employees? Okay, so a lot of these are going to be empty anyway. Okay, thank you.
Additional discussion? None? Mr. Chase?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mr. Minivini?
Yes.
Mr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Mr. Fishman?
Yes.
Mr. Churchill?
Yes.
Mr. Pelletier?
Yes.
Mr. Mallaby?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes.
Okay, Mr. Chair, the board finds that the proposed plan provides safe and efficient vehicle and pedestrian access. The board finds the proposed parking plan is adequate for the site and meets the parking density requirements for the use as noted by the waiver approved this evening. The board finds the stormwater management as proposed is designed to control the post-development and runoff so that it does not exceed the pre-development runoff.
Second.
All right, motion by O'Connor, seconded by Malaby to make findings of fact. Any discussion? Mr. Chase?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mr. Minervini?
Yes.
Mr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Mr. Fishman?
Yes.
Mr. Chercello?
Yes.
Mr. Pelletier?
Yes.
Mr. Malaby?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes.
Mr. Chair, after review and deliberation of the minor site plan application for PID 08001-003, Durable Trailers LLC, owner the Sports Reel LLC, the board finds the applicant has satisfied the general requirements of the land development control regulations, or in cases where the regulations cannot be met, has satisfied the waiver requirements. Therefore, the motion is to approve the plan pursuant to RSA 676:4, Roman numeral I, dash, completed application with the following conditions. Subject to the owner's signature, addressed staff comments contained in the January 15, 2026 email from Sam Vizzoli, subject to on-site inspection by the town engineer, establish appropriate escrow as required to complete the project. As per note 6 on the site plan, all overgrown vegetation shall be removed to facilitate the truck turn-in radius and site distance prior to the issuance of the certificate of occupancy. Amend note 6 to include tree clearing of the entire detention basin located at the southwest corner of the site. The new
And
landowner...
this is where you substitute the new language.
The new landowner will be responsible for restoring the stormwater management system as outlined on the plan and maintaining the hydraulic functionality of the portions of the systems that are on the subject property, except in any portions of existing systems that are currently maintained by the town. Note that the new owner and the town engineer shall coordinate and work in concert together to establish the final language and details of this requirement and establish a clarifying deed relative to this matter.
Okay. And then just continue on, and
Yeah,
we'll
just-
have discussion.
This new language helps provide some clarification on the pipe that has the easement over it and allows the new landowner to work with the town engineer to establish agreements and maintenance.
No, so, yeah, no, I mean, I'm going to go back to the conditions. Because it's just that one paragraph I think we were substituting, right?
Yep.
Yep.
So we got a note approved waiver on the plans. Obtain written approval from the planning director / designee that the GIS submission is received and is operable and complies with LDCR section 170-61.c. Subject to the receipt of applicable local permits related to the project and conditions precedent shall be met within 6 months.
Second.
Moved by O'Connor, seconded by Malaby. I have an item of discussion. Where the new language says, and establish a clarifying deed relative to this matter. I'm confused because deeds are only typically required for easements. I don't think we're modifying an easement, are we?
I don't believe so. Because there should already be, the easement should already be recorded, so I don't know that, maybe that last sentence could perhaps be deleted.
Could we take off the "and establish a clarifying deed relative to this matter," because I don't think that. Yeah.
No.
I don't think that deed part belongs in there. Would you accept that as a friendly amendment?
That's a friendly amendment that can be removed.
Just to beg the board's indulgence, if Mr. Valentine had something to add to that with regard to the legality of why you would put it in a deed, but I know you're in the middle of a motion, so.
Well, if you have some relevant information, we'll reopen the public hearing just to hear from you on this particular point.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ralph Valentine, to represent the property owner. I think the reason that Liz added that language is that the easement that's on record is not as well defined as it should be. And this gives a chance for, between the town and the property owner, to clarify that so the maintenance part is more clear than what's on record already. That's all they want to do.
I think that could be delineated on the site plan itself because that has perhaps as much weight.
So are we changing either the boundaries or the purpose of the easement?
No, just to clarify the maintenance.
Yeah, I don't think that needs to be in the deed, but again, I'm not a lawyer, but.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're okay. Okay, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just not sure that anyone needs to record a new deed.
Then in the plan, you've got
Yeah.
the wording.
I think we're okay without having the
Okay.
deed.
Okay.
As long as they agree on who's hogging which piece of brush.
Yes.
Okay. Any other discussion on the conditional approval? Then we'll vote. Mr. Chase?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mr. Minivini?
Yes.
Mr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Mr. Fishman?
Yes.
Mr. Churchill?
Yes, and welcome back to Derry.
Mr. Pelletier?
Yes.
Mr. Mallory?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Thank you very much. Good luck. Okay, next item is a workshop. So we had spotty attendance last meeting, and there was a memo to folks to make sure that you let us know in advance when you're not going to be here. We will need to recapitulate some of what happened so that all the people who weren't here have an idea of what we're talking about. And we did make some proposed changes to the recommended amendment last meeting, and then we decided we want to have a district walk, which is bigger than a site walk, so that all the members of the board who can make it can actually see all the features of the land that we're talking about. And so we want to, apparently we want to do this either late February or early March. I don't want to do it in the snowstorm.
No.
So, Ms. Robidoux, would you give us a recap for those members who weren't here of what we talked about in the last meeting?
Okay. Do you want me to go, like, read through this thing? Or
No,
just
the
kind of-
executive summary.
Okay. So during the discussion, we talked about what we wanted to do perhaps for density, in knowing that it should apply to conversions as well in this district. There was a lot of discussion about, we talked a little bit about where we would want to put commercial, because right now it says if you want to do, if you have mixed use, you've got to have resident, or you can have residential on the first floor in this district. So we talked a little bit about, do we want it in the building somewhere, or do we want it on the commercial on the first floor? That was kind of the decision. We decided that we didn't need to include special exception uses in this district because the very few special exception uses that were listed were not ones that were likely to locate in the district moving forward. Big items of discussion were the...
Excuse me for a moment.
Yep.
Beverly, would you please close the back door? This conversation is kind of distracting. Thank you.
Yep. Okay.
All right, please
Yeah.
continue.
Okay, so large items for discussion were the height, and also probably the biggest one is the yard depth. Right now, we have a maximum yard depth of 8 feet, so anyone who takes a building down and rebuilds a building has to put it 8 feet from the front property line, which can constrain the site, and it has been a little bit problematic for people who are trying to redevelop lots. So we were looking at that, and we kind of went back and forth, and that was really kind of the impetus for the site walk, so we can get an idea of really what the lay of the land is in the district, what the topography looks like, so we can make better informed decisions about what that depth should look like and what we should do about the height. You know, things like density, In the staff report provided, you'll see that I kind of took the lots that had more than an acre and kind of laid out what you could get for units at our existing, which is 12 units per acre, and what you could get if you increase that to 24, so you can see the number of units that might be permitted on the lot. And that's just like straight density, not taking into condition, any of the existing conditions or hardships that might be on any of the lots.
So there were a couple of, major themes here. One that Ms. Robita has just explained is expanding the density of residential uses in the business district, because residential development is a problem for New Hampshire as well as nationwide, and the general court is trying to force us to increase it, and perhaps we have some obligation as a town to voluntarily do what we can to make it more feasible. The other countervailing issue, I think especially as it relates to the yard depths, is the visioning. For those who are familiar with the TBOD, that is a vision of a downtown Nashua, Elm Street in Manchester kind of streetscape where all the buildings are beautiful brick buildings and they're right up on the sidewalk. We want that old residential corridor look to the downtown. We spent a lot of money getting fancy light fixtures and taking all the electrical wires and telephone wires off the street, yada, yada. So and the question is how much of that vision should or should not extend into the surrounding CBD, the central business district? Do we want still to have kind of a quasi-old New England downtown look? And so there was disagreement about what would you do with a 20-foot, deep yard, other than maybe put a parking lot in front, which I think no one admitted to wanting.
No.
So that's why I think we need to have a site walk. We need to look at the positioning of the existing buildings and figure out how this plays, and then think about the vision for the CBD before we start changing dimensional requirements. And that's why I think the site walk is pretty important.
Do you think CBD is going to get more redevelopment for TBOD?
Can't hear you, Brian.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Now I can, yeah.
Does everyone feel that the CBD will get development first? So surrounding the TBOD, in other words, you're developing here and then you're moving in to the downtown, or is it going to be the opposite way?
Well, my guess is that there's a lot more land mass in the CBD, a bunch of old homes that could be turned into business opportunities. The TBOD, while we expanded it a little bit, then we also contracted it. I used to say it's like the Western movie set. It's basically flats along the street, and there's not much depth to it. So there's a lot of buildings there. There are probably a couple of them that we could name that would be targets for urban renewal, to speak. But mostly those lots are full. So I'm going to guess there's probably more opportunity in the CBD than the TBOD. That's my guess.
Because the only thing that I'm thinking of, Abbott Court, is going to, obviously we're starting work there. It's probably going to happen fairly quickly. And I think that lends an opportunity for the downtown. This is my personal opinion. Once people see this building and parking, I think you're going to see more interest in the downtown. And then once it's completed and these people live there, they're going to go to the restaurants in the downtown. I think we're going to see more investments, like, for instance, right across the street where, I forget the name of the building. Is it Oak? The name of the company.
Oh, Red Oak.
Oh, Red Oak.
Red Oak Properties.
Red Oak.
Street from
Red
where?
Oak. Red Oak.
Right at the Opera
Across the
Across the
street from
street.
where?
So the empty lot where the
Opera House.
Opera House is.
Oh, yeah, Red Oak, right.
For years, when I was on the council, we always talked about working something with that empty lot. And then right down the street a little bit, you have that empty spot by the coffee shop. That was taken down. We had buildings there, but they were condemned up on the top. But my personal opinion is once people start seeing Abbott Court, you're going to see investment in the downtown. You're going to see it. That's why I was asking, do you want to see it this way and see what we get here and then spread out, or the other way around. That's all.
Okay, Mr. Chair?
Mr. O'Connor?
One, I concur with Mr. Chiricello, because once Abbott Court starts getting built, it may be draw a lot of attention down to that particular area. I also had the ability to take and watch your meeting of the January 21st, and I have a couple of things that make some comments. One, I agree with you on the the setback as far as the perimeters go. I do have I believe, actually add the studios. I'm having an issue with a minimum of the 30% of the first floor shall be permitted non-residential use versus what we always talked about with mixed use is the first floor being of commercial and then above that being of residential. I'm glad you concurred with the structure height with the 350 feet above sea level. I'm surprised comment wasn't made because that was usually, that whole thing was, meetings were very contentious back then, especially when you added the farm-based group in there. Mr. Chase and I believe it was Mr. Fairbanks, didn't you actually get on the ladder, go all the way up to the top with the device?
No.
And measure? Yeah. So there was a lot of work done to determine that, to try to make sure that it would stay, as people drive in to Derry, that it would have that old feel that we're looking for. And that's it to me. I look forward to the site walk, so we can get an idea.
So, any questions for those who weren't here about the comments made or the executive summary about what the thrust is here? I want to make sure everyone's up to speed.
I mean, the minutes, do we feel captured the discussion fairly comprehensively? I presume they do.
Okay.
I was a little unclear about the comment at the very end about, or the context of the comment about automotive uses and like a sliding door. What was that in context of?
We were talking about the fact that if it was an auto dealership, today you build a mall kind of thing with a pretty glass and aluminum building in the center of the lot and huge parking lots around it for parking all of the cars on sale. And I was giving an anecdote about how it used to be in traditional New England downtowns in the 1900s. And I was referring to an automobile dealership on Merrimack Street in Manchester, where they had cars stored inside the building, and it was a zero setback from the sidewalk. And then Mr. Chase pointed out, well, today the fire department won't let you put cars inside a building, so that has also changed. That was the context.
Okay, thank you.
There's a beautiful car dealership I think in Andover on 28, which is that same setup.
And I guess the idea was that if you're trying to maintain a vision, and I was part of the streetscape visioning, someday I'll spend some time giving a history of room and airing and all the work we did for the downtown corridor and the TBOD. But we started with a vision, and then we worked how to figure out requirements that would maintain that vision and still make it a viable business environment. So I think the context was you don't always have to have urban sprawl style development to support a particular kind of business, because there are opportunities that fit better into a downtown streetscape. That was the context of it.
Got it. Thank you.
Mr. Chase.
So part of the context is, and I do not disagree with what Mr. Chiricello says. Once the new development on Abbott Court is complete, I think there will be interest in that area. But that is a small area that we have. And we already have some of the older buildings down Burt Street and other parts of the CBD that are slated to be torn down and redeveloped. And we've always been behind on these things, and this is our chance to get ahead of it. There's already an issue with setbacks. This is our chance to correct that and correct everything else that needs to be done. We need to have that area, all our ordinances and our vision in place. We don't want people coming to us and then say, oh, what do we want? We need to have it in place now so that when that redevelopment hopefully will come, we're ready for it. And they know what they can do, and they know what it's going to look like. Waiting to see where the development comes, and we don't care where it comes. If it comes first in the TBOD, that's great. If it comes first in the CBD, that's great. Any development is great. That's what we're looking for, and we need to be ready for it. And we need to go with the vision that we had set in the years past, and it doesn't matter whether it's a TBOD, the CBD, we need to have these in place and ready to go for if and when this comes.
Just a note on that, because being an old timer here, sitting with Chris Reisdorf and Ann Evans, when we looked at downtown and we said, we want retail on the bottom, and then we can do residential. We hammered out that idea, but it never came to fruition. It actually, in hindsight, we probably handcuffed a lot of people. So we just have to be cognizant of the fact that we have to have a little bit of flexibility, because when Abbott Court shows up, people are going to see it and they're going to say, wow, I want to be part of that, and they're going to want to do things. As long as we have some flexibility built in, do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I don't want it to be so strict that like I had mentioned, we did the old CBD with through subcommittees, and it just never panned out.
Right, and that's to my point too. One of the things that we looked at and are willing to increase is the height. Nobody wants a 3-story building anymore. They want 4 and 5 stories. It's not profitable to build a 3-story building anymore. So we've got to get out of that mindset that we can only have 3 stories. And that's why we brought up the change in the building height in that area. And that's why Ms. Robideau got all our base elevations to see exactly where we are and what we have to have, so we can set a reasonable height requirement for that area. That somebody's, we have had developers come in, look at it and say, there's no profit in a 3-story building here. I can't. And that's why the lots are sitting vacant. We've got to get out of that mindset and come into the age that we're in now. If they can't make, let's face it, if they can't make money, they're not going to build it. So that's just one of the changes. And the setback, we already have an issue with a potential development with the setback. What we have now is not going to work, so we need to look at that. And I agree with Mr. Nelson. A site walk will be extremely beneficial. A lot of people are visual. When you visualize it, you can see, we can say. Because we had come up with, instead of a hard setback, 0 to a number. If they want it on the sidewalk, they can have it on the sidewalk.
Like
if they don't, they can go back so far.
Like a range.
Yes, a range
that
is
makes...
much more, and that's to your point, that we need to be flexible.
Yeah.
A hard setback is not working there. We need something more flexible. These are the things that we're looking at.
Yeah, because all the lots around here, they're not cookie cutter. They're all different sizes, shapes.
Correct.
So,
and that goes to your point of being flexible. Yes, we do. We need to be flexible.
Yeah. I like that range thing, yeah.
So a couple of the other things that are really underlying themes that maybe haven't been highlighted is there are some sort of traditional urban planning tropes that just aren't true anymore. One of them is that, we don't want high-density residential because there's, 7 children per unit and we can't afford it because the schools are overflowing. That is no longer true. The schools are no longer overflowing. They're closing schools. And the current demographics statewide is, on average, there's anywhere between 0.3 and 0.7 children per unit.
Yeah.
So that trope has changed.
Yep.
There's a trope about traditional mixed use, which is first floor, all commercial, retail, and then the upper floors, residential or professional office. I think that works maybe in downtown Nashua, downtown Manchester, but we're not quite there. We want to be, and we've been enacting guidelines to try to incentivize that pattern of development, but we also need to be a little realistic about if the vision that the urban planners and the town council and the planning board has does not entice anybody with capital to spend, then it's probably not going to happen. So that's another thing we're doing. We're sort of re-evaluating some of those traditional urban planning tropes.
Yep. Yeah, and then speaking on the first floor issue, you know, if you were to do like senior housing, a lot of seniors don't want to be on the third floor. They want to be on the first floor.
You got the
For safety reasons or handicap reasons, you know, they don't want to be.
Well, one of my comments was that if we want a non-residential, a commercial, a retail walk-in customer basis, we can't allow the developers to put it on the third floor because very few customers are really going to want to walk up to a third floor premise for shopping. I mean, there are obviously exceptions to that, certain kind of businesses we could talk about where that would work, but in general, you want sidewalk traffic to have easy access to your store. So that's why we kind of picked 30%. Maybe that was sort of a halfway compromise between the old model and the modern reality. But again, we probably ought to think more about that before we decide. So at this point, I would like to actually get the district walk scheduled. And I know it's going to be cold, so I'm going to offer, you know, there are a number of places that we could stop for like hot chocolate or something like that. And I'm offering to buy for the board.
Oh, all right, definitely. Make that sooner than later then.
Okay? So this time of year, we can't really do evenings. It's going to have to be a weekend. So what's everyone's calendar look like?
You got deliberation this Saturday.
Well, it can't be this Saturday because I don't think we have time for notice. So.
No, we don't have time for notice.
This Saturday is deliberative session, school.
Oh, yeah, school. I know some people may have plans late afternoon or evening the following Saturday, but it looks
How
like
about
it's
the
going to
third
be about
Saturday of the month?
37 degrees out. The who? What?
Third Saturday of February.
Which would be, what, the 28th?
That would be the 21st.
Well, I'm doing election training that day so in this room, so
I'm out of state.
I won't be able to be there.
All right,
Yeah.
well,
The 21st would not work for me either, but the 28th would.
It's supposed to snow.
Oh,
Yeah, but that's a long ways off.
Well, if you believe a forecast 4 weeks out, it's like,
Yeah.
But I did suggest, and I don't know how lawful this is, that we schedule a date and a snow date. I don't know how that works in terms of notifying the public that, oh, it's the snow date, but that seems to be maybe more practical this time of year.
Yeah, well, at least you're saying right up front, if we, you know, and we could put, we could put on the notice, you know, if it's postponed, it will be on the website by X, you know, so we can make a decision, and I have the ability to add something to the website.
The only other thing that's going on during that time period, I think, that is the week of school vacation for anyone who has plans to travel because of that. Other than that, the 28th would work for me.
Sorry, are you saying the 28th or the 21st?
He's got the election.
21st is a Sunday, isn't it?
Well, no, February 28th is the last Saturday in
Oh,
February.
it's a Saturday, okay.
yeah.
I'm not available on the 21st.
Okay, what,
I can do the 21st.
yeah, we got a bunch of people with conflicts on the 21st.
I could do Sunday.
All right, so how sacrosanct is it that we can't do, like, Sunday afternoons?
I think you could pick whatever day is convenient for the board. Unless it, you know, unless someone
So let's
has
do the
a...
22nd.
Yeah, I can't do, I've got a concert on the 22nd, so I won't be there, but,
And we can't do next weekend?
Sunday's fine.
you mean, like, the 8th?
No, next weekend, so the 15th.
The 15th?
It's going to be 39 degrees.
I don't have anything on the 15th. Does anyone have anything on the 15th? Would we all prefer to do an afternoon?
Yeah.
Because there might be more sun and warmth in the afternoon?
Exactly.
Like 1 o'clock? And could we, I don't know, what do we do for a snow date?
Following Sunday, 22nd?
Yeah, I mean, I won't be able to be there, but at least not in the afternoon because I've got a 2 o'clock concert, but.
Is the first too far out to plan for a snow day?
Where's your concert, David?
Salem, Seifert?
And you said it's at 2 o'clock?
Yeah.
So what if we do it beforehand?
Do it at 10.
I mean, how long do you anticipate this will be? Hour and a half?
Well, I mean, if we want to do it earlier in the morning, I know some people, want to go to church and
Yeah, because I was just getting out of church.
that's why I suggested 1 o'clock on a Sunday. We could push it to the 1st and just, probably we don't have to use it.
Yeah, that's fine.
So the 15th at 1 o'clock as the nominal date, and then if we have snow, we'll postpone to the March 1st at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
And we want to meet here at the municipal center?
That's probably the best because
Where we can park and
park and
whatnot.
walk, yeah, yeah.
The idea is to actually walk the district. How many people were here when we did the last district walk?
We did the walk over here.
Yeah, we did the
By
TBOD.
4A.
Yeah.
We walked the whole downtown.
Yeah, we went
I
all the
didn't
way
do-
down Central Court, up South
So
Ave.
everyone, this is not just a parcel. We're walking the whole downtown.
Yeah.
Okay, just so you know. So if there's no more negotiation or no objection, can we schedule those dates for our district
Yes.
walk?
Yes.
Thank you. Great,
15th and the 1st, 1 o'clock.
yeah. Pray for no snow. All right, I guess that's our agenda. We would now have board comments. Does anyone have board comments?
No.
Hearing
Nice
none?
job on the presentation last night, Mr.
What's that?
Nice job on the presentation last night.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it was good.
So,
Motion to adjourn?
yeah, second.
So I now have a dangerous tool as a gavel.
Don't do it.
Very gently rap and say, we're adjourned.